Good afternoon foremost. Good day to everybody who's joined. Really want to appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us as we hop into American Life and a full suite of fantastic products. You're going to see some functionality and rates as well as just a great history from this company on renewal rates. My name's Tim Watts. I'm an annuity sales director over here at IAMS. I'm joined by Mason from American Life today. Before we hop into that great product suite, I do have a few things that I want to share about why agents love working with us over here at IAMS. We will have a total of 4 polls. Love to have your participation in those. We'll also have opportunities for you to ask questions. If you have a question right now, you could certainly go ahead and pull up that questions box. Toss it in there. We'll get those all answered there for you at the end of the day. We will have a few polls. One of the first things I wanted to highlight about why agents like working with us at IAMS is our best-in-class customer service. One of the ways we start that is when you call in, you don't have to worry about a dial-by-name directory, leaving a voicemail for somebody who's on a vacation. Every single call is going to get answered by a live person. If you give us a call at business hours at 800-255-5055. Hopping into our first program is our producer builders is our new producer bonus. This is for you that are new to us at IAMS. These bonuses are available based on your production level in your first 180 days of contracting with us. You can see there's several different levels as well as multiple options inside of each one of those levels. There's going to be business building tools, personal perks, and even cash awards. If you'd like to know where you stand on your new producer builder, give myself or your annuity sales or life sales director over here at IAMS a call. Another business builders program we provide for our agents is our referred producer program. I do see a couple advisors on with us today, as we always see them on the webinars, gaining that information and knowledge as well as they've capitalized on this referred producer program. Our business on the wholesale side of the industry is similar to yours in the field, and one of the best leads we could ever obtain is a referral from our valued producers. We do want to make it worth your while, so when you refer a producer to us, we're going to get you $50 once they contract with IAMS and a couple carriers, like American Life. Where the real money comes in is as your referral writes business, you receive an override on that business. Our ownership team, Charles, Steve, Curtis, and Chris, sign checks for thousands of dollars every quarter. With that being said, if you could think of anyone that could benefit from doing business with our team, please send an email to timw@iamsinc.com or put their information in that questions box, and I'll get them called this afternoon. Below that is our marketing reimbursement program, which is our most popular program. Why is that? Well, for every $100,000 of FIA production, you're going to get $100 in marketing reimbursement. Why this is so popular and lucrative for our advisors is we truly do keep this as your marketing reimbursement. We don't dictate where you spend the funds, although we definitely have negotiated preferred service and discounted rates with many third-party vendors out there. You can also utilize those funds with our creative team or any other marketing strategies. The main goal here is we invest back into your business as you write business to keep that pipeline nice and full. Back office support is another way that we add value to your business. This is the core of IAMS and how Charles Hearing founded us over 36 years ago. Well, we want to help the independent advisor work smarter, not harder. We're going to do this with great business building tools and resources. Of course, advanced case design assistance, life and annuity quotes is an area that we can assist you with. We're going to get those illustrations to you within 24 hours, but typically that's going to come within an hour or two. The illustrations team is seasoned over here, and they're excellent at what they do. Submissions to commission support is handled by our new business team. McKinsey heads up the annuity side, and Michelle is on the live side. Their teams are fantastic, and they work tirelessly to help you get commission quicker. They're going to do that by scrubbing your application, submitting them on your behalf, doing the administrative tracking, and getting you updates on the cases as needed. We do this to ensure you get commissioned as quickly as possible, and this is a service that we provide to our valued producers. We can help you grow your business by keeping you in front of clients, where our team handles the back office support for you. Our website is a great tool for our producers to use, and another reason to work with us over here at IAMS. Once you've contracted, you're going to have full access to everything you see on this slide and so much more. If you haven't registered for the website, it's very simple to do. So when we're done with this call, go ahead and create that account. We'd love to see you on there. If you do need a walkthrough on that website, we've got one on our, well, actually, I think we've got 3 or 4 now on our YouTube site, or one of our sales directors can certainly help you out with that. Tons of tools, forms, product grids, and product and industry news out there on our website. Firelight e-apps. If you're not doing e-apps, please, let's do that. Let's do that in Q2 of 2025. In the industry, the e-apps are in good order, roughly 85 to 95% of the time, where a paper app is going to be not in good order, roughly 40 to 60% of the time. Again, our goal is to help you get commissioned as quickly as possible, and the Firelight e-app is a great tool and resource to utilize for that. We've also integrated with Luma, which gives you the ability to go out there and look at your past business, get current contract or policy numbers without having to call the carrier. You can see what your clients are allocated to, so much information on there. Both of those tools and resources are designed to help keep your life less complicated and make it as efficient as possible for you. We do have a full in-house creative team that can help with your practice, and a lot of the items that we have are turnkey and available for you. Many of our sales resources are white labeled, so we can simply impose your contact information and business logo onto it. Speaking of your logos, Agency Solutions is an area of expertise for our team. If you haven't created a full customized brand for you and your agency, we can help. This is going to assist with name recognition, which grows your natural market organically. Lastly, digital marketing solutions is a very popular topic around IAMS. We can help you with websites, social media marketing, email marketing, and so much more. The internet and social media sites are where the overwhelming majority of prospects go to for information. Making sure that you're accessible and represented in those marketing lanes is beneficial to growing your business. Reach out to myself or one of our sales directors when this webinar concludes to see how IAMS Creative can get that ball rolling for, see what the services they can get going for you, and we can get that ball rolling for you. Creative services, we do have our complimentary marketing analysis. This is our roadmap to help your agency and practice hit and exceed those revenue goals. There is no cost to you for this service, but it's going to add a tremendous amount of value with both short and long-term marketing strategies built in a multi-vertical manner, so you can minimize those lows, keep those highs high, and have multiple spokes supporting your marketing wheel. I'm going to go ahead and pause here now, launch our first poll, and that is, did you use any paid marketing strategies in 2024 or 2025 thus far? Definitely want everybody to participate on this. I'm going to actually pause and take a quick drink, give you about 10 or 15 seconds to answer this poll, and then we'll move on to that next slide. All right, I appreciate everybody's participation. Just give it a couple more seconds. I was able to wet my whistle there. I think we are good to proceed. So I went ahead and closed that poll. I have 3 more polls. Definitely want to see some more participation on the next ones if we can. All right, IAMS Wealth Management. We founded this 6 years ago now. What we've done is grow this division of IAMS very organically. We've helped advisors become IARs and pass the Series 65 at a very successful clip. Once we have you registered, we'll bring great value to your practice with an incredibly competitive fee structure for both you and your clientele. We've got a great technology and investment platform as well. This has been a major growth sector of our business, and assets under management could be a major growth sector for your business as well. We will be hosting our second in-person annuity and life insurance academy for 2025. Now, we've been doing these for almost a decade now. We're going to provide a tremendous amount of value with around 20 presenters going over 3 main thrusts. I'm going to go ahead and launch my next poll here. That is, would you like some more information about this academy? But those three main thrusts are going to be marketing programs that other agents are having huge success with, advanced sales techniques to teach you new and innovative ways to position annuities and life insurance for your clients' pre and retirement needs, as well as product deep dives on innovative and limited distribution products such as American Life. All right, got a couple of votes coming in here on that poll. Give you guys just about 10 more seconds here. All right, see a few more coming in. If you haven't opted in, the water's warm. We are voting on that poll. I appreciate everybody's participation there. Next, we've got our trek to Quebec. This is a top producer trip. Qualification does end very soon here, June 30th. Now, that's been going on since January 1st of 2024. So you can see an 18-month qualification, which gives agents like you plenty of time to qualify for a fantastic trip. These are +1 trips, so you get to bring a spouse, a friend, or anybody else that you decide you want to take on an amazing trip. Cover all of your flights, hotels, everything is included. We've also got a Cap Cana trip to the Dominican Republic. Qualification ends on December 30th for that one. If you'd like to know where you stand towards that qualification, definitely give us a buzz over here at IAMS and we can let you know where you're at. I think as I checked yesterday morning, we've got 39 who've qualified for Quebec, and I think we'll probably get up to 60. So congratulations to everybody. Looking forward to a nice trip up north in the heat of the summer there in August. All right, lastly, before I turn it over to Mason and let him kick us off over here, I've got two things for you. That is one more poll. Did you meet or exceed your Q1 revenue goal for 2025? Lastly, if you haven't liked or followed us on Facebook or LinkedIn, definitely hop out to those sites today. We're going to give you all the industry updates that you need. Great, just easy way to stay informed with those great sites there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. Mason, I'm giving you control, so go ahead and get your presentation pulled up. Well, Mason brings this up. We've got a fantastic team over at American Life to help you out with all of those needs. Mason, I do see your screen. Yep, there you go. Perfect. Mason is an internal wholesaler for us over here at IAMS, or at American Life. Fantastic tool and resource. He's great at what he does and can really get those wheels greased. So, over here at IAMS, we're pretty particular at which carriers that we work with, especially which carriers are our core carriers. American Life is one of those. They're a strong organization to work with, offering your clients super high rates and just innovative products. So without further ado, Mason, the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, what a great introduction. Thanks so much, Tim. Yeah, hey everyone, Mason Marash here with American Life. Like Tim had mentioned, I'm the new internal wholesaler up there. I've been with American Life for all of about 3 months now, but I come with about 20 years of industry experience. So a lot of good background there, and I'm pretty excited to be part of the team here at American Life. We've got some pretty amazing things in front of us, and Tim had mentioned, we've partnered with some pretty amazing organizations, IAMS being one of those. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I've got some good ground to cover with you guys. I'm just going to touch base on kind of who we are, where we've been, where we're going, where we stand out in the marketplace, and maybe share some ideas with you that can kind of get the wheels turning a little bit on what might work well. If you've got some cases out there thinking about different things, certainly some good opportunity right now with the interest rate environment we're in right now. And some of those older policies we're looking at that were written in maybe not so great an interest rate environment. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. So here at American Life, we actually issued our first indexed annuity way back in 2019. So we're fairly new to this space, but we're growing very, very quickly, and we're actually growing the right way. Just for example, last year from 2023 through to 2024, we increased from 851 million in total annuity production to just under 1.2 billion in total annuity production. We did all of that while increasing our RBC from around 230 to almost 300. Pretty significant jump there, all while growing our business in a significant way. So we're growing, but we're growing in the right way. You can see on the right-hand side of your screen there, we have our current state footprint. We are in 25 states right now. We are looking to expand that significantly this year. That's a big focus for us, so look for more to come on that. Just real briefly here, I'm going to touch base on our 4 different main product lines on the annuity side here. We have a MYGA, we have our MyGIA product, the American Fusion. We have the American Select Fixed Indexed Annuity that is built for growth with our bonus and some good liquidity as well. And then we have our MaxGrowth FIA, which is our rocket ship of a cash accumulation product, putting as much as possible into the growth side of that policy. I'm going to break down each of these in a little bit of detail and kind of show you where they might stand out. Starting just real briefly, I think we all kind of know how a MYGA works, and not a lot of point in spending a ton of time here. But we do offer a competitive rate, and we do things a little bit differently here at American Life in the way that we structure the policy. So the top rate on the policy, as you can see, is 5.53%. That's for the 5-year contract. But we also have a guaranteed rate of 5.4%. What do we mean by that? Well, if your client doesn't take any withdrawals outside of RMDs, they get 5.53%. If they take the free withdrawals starting in, say, year 2, they get the lower rate of the 5.4. The thing I like about this, we've all seen the a la carte products that are out there today where you can pick and choose which liquidity or what have you features are on them ahead of purchasing the policy. Well, we don't make you do that. You can buy the policy, and then if you don't elect to take any withdrawals, again, outside RMDs, we're going to give you that higher rate. But if you do, we're just going to give you the lower rate. You don't have to decide ahead of time. So that stands out a little bit about that. And we have a competitive rate there, both on the 3 and the 5-year. The next policy we have that we've partnered with IAMS with, this is one of their policies that they helped us design, build, and implement, is our American Fusion MyGIA. If you're familiar with these, you know it's effectively a combination between a MYGA and a regular fixed indexed annuity. Ours is pretty strong in that it has a 5% guarantee. The worst thing that can happen for the client is after 5 years, they've earned 5%. They have the opportunity to earn up to 6.83%. In fact, not up to, they're either going to earn 5% or they're going to earn 6.83%. And the way they get that 6.83 is if the S&P 500 returns on an average of 5% over that 5 years, a total of 25%, we're going to trigger a 9% back-end bonus that's going to pay and bring that total return year over year up to 6.83%. Now, you can't take free withdrawals in order to get that benefit, but they can still access RMDs. You kind of probably hearing a little bit of a theme with us here at American Life in reference to that. That policy
Hey,
is
Mason,
issued.
just real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No,
Go
I
ahead,
was
Tim.
just real quick here. So this MyGIA is a new product type introduced into the space probably about a year, maybe a little bit more. But I just wanted to highlight how great of a tool and resource this is. So it's a 5-year chassis, short term, 5% guaranteed compounding. So if you've got anybody who's got a CD, maybe you've got somebody who's got a MYGA, but fear of missing out, like what happens if the market does go up? So if you looked at the past 5 years of the S&P, it's up, I think yesterday I checked, like 88%. So the 25% benchmark there is very attainable. And then just imagine how good you're going to look when that client looks at the end of the 5 years and sees a 6.83 compounding rate of return there. That can really, I think it's just a super powerful story. It combines the guarantees. So 5%, your old one was 0 is your hero, or hey, here's the rate that we're going to get, but there's no opportunity to earn any more. So your clients might have fear of missing out. And zero, nobody wants to really hear that. That's better than losing money, but not by a whole lot. So this is a great way to guarantee your clients 5% compounding and give them an easy way to earn more with just one simple index that they already know.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point, Tim. And a couple other things I'll point out. One is the commission's a little higher than what you normally get on a MYGA. It's certainly higher than what we pay on a regular MYGA. It's 3%. And the other thing to point out is, as you think about that, how often does it over a 5-year term does the S&P outperform 5%? Well, what do we have, 60 some odd years now, 70 years maybe of S&P history to look back on, and we've looked at that, and it's about 86% of the time. So you've got an 86% chance of earning that 6.83. That's a pretty strong story in my opinion. All right, so moving on to one of the more exciting things. I know we like MYGAs and we like MYGIAs, but the straight indexed annuities are always going to be super popular, and this one is no different. This is our American Select series. I mentioned this earlier. It's our good growth product that actually has some good liquidity built into it as well. We offer 3 different iterations of it on 2 different terms. So we have a 7-year version, we have a 10-year version. We're looking at the 10-year rates here right now. There's 3 versions there. There's the base with no bonus. There's our bonus version, which has a 17% bonus up through age 74. And then there's our bonus plus version, and that's kind of where I'm going to focus a little bit, which offers a 23% bonus. So 23% bonus on the bonus plus. As you can see there, as you look kind of through the rates, you'll see that the bonus and the bonus plus have identical rates. The bonus plus does have an 80 basis point fee we're going to charge every single year. And then once we hit that into that surrender term after the 10th year, the charge actually goes away. We're no longer going to pay that. But the rates are still competitive. 3% fixed rate, 6% S&P annual point-to-point with cap, and probably my favorite strategy on here, the S&P annual point-to-point with a participation rate currently at 40%. When I say currently at 40%, I'll get into why I think that's a big deal a little bit later in the presentation here. But currently at 40%, when I look at illustrations and I run just the S&P point-to-point with participation, and again, when we're talking about S&P 500, any point-to-point, anything like that, we have 60 plus years of S&P history to look back on. We know it's tried and true, and there's no volatility control within there to change things from a return perspective. So when we look at that and we look at the illustrations, right now it's returning in the illustrations over 7% on those illustrations. And when you look at the average of a 40% return in the S&P 500, I think you'll find very similar returns. So that's a very strong strategy, considering especially we're giving you a 23% bonus up front. Okay. On top of the 23% bonus, we're going to do a 3% back-end bonus as well. So what that means, again, remember that I said it's a bit of a theme with us. If the client doesn't take any free withdrawals or any withdrawals outside of just RMDs, we're going to put a 3% back-end bonus at the end of that 10th year on the account value. So it's like it was there the whole time, but we're putting it on the back end. So that's just one more thing we're doing. The other thing to keep in mind between the bonus and the bonus plus is we do go from the bonus having a 5% free withdrawal to the bonus plus having a 10% free withdrawal. So we get a little bit more liquidity there. And then the other thing, and I want to make sure I point this out and that you guys see this. So if you look at our premium bonus for older ages 75 to 85, we stand alone very significantly in that age group, 75 to 85, and especially 80 to 85. We only dropped that bonus on the bonus plus version from 23 to 20%. So we're losing 3% of that bonus on that older age. So that means an 85-year-old can still get a 20% bonus. And by the way, that bonus, of course, is fully vested as a death benefit. So as you look through your clients and your decks, and you've got some of those older clients, maybe they're looking at those legacy benefits, they can't qualify for life insurance. this can be something that they can look at, a good place, a safe place to park the money, where they're going to get a nice immediate bump up front and boost that future death benefit for their beneficiaries. Okay, so I want to make sure that I point that out to you guys. So that's our American Select in a nutshell. Moving on to our newest product, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the presentation, that's our MaxGrowth. This is our rocket ship. Everything is shoving as much as possible into the growth side of this policy to give your clients the best opportunity for upside potential compared to other products on the market today. Highlights are we have an industry high 11.5% S&P 500 cap right now in that policy. The fixed rate's currently at 5%, and we have an 8% performance triggered account. Those have the performance triggered account I found had kind of fallen out of favor. People had gotten away from it, but with rates in a higher place, they've become more popular recently. If you're not familiar with it, think of it as a binary option, meaning that either you get the 8% or you get 0. And the way it works is if we're up at all, it doesn't matter if it's 0.001%, as long as we're up, that client's going to earn 8% on any money allocated in that option. If the S&P is down at all, they're going to just earn 0. If it's flat or down, it just earns a 0. So it's binary. So either you earn it or you don't. The other interesting thing on this policy, again, kind of a throwback. We had this available when I first got in the business 20 years ago. Everywhere, every policy had something like this. We don't have it on most policies today, and that's 5x5 annuitization. And that's the ability to take on this 10-year account. After 5 years, anytime after the 5th year, they can take whatever the account value is and take it paid over 5 years. You earn a little bit of interest in there. I think it's like 1% over that time. So it's not just your account value. You get a little bit more than that, not a ton. But it's pretty unique, and it allows for some extra liquidity option there. Okay. And here's the rates on our MaxGrowth. So again, like I mentioned, 5% fixed rate, very competitive there. S&P at 8, performance triggered at 8%. S&P annual point to point with cap is at 11.5%. Very strong rates. We do offer a bonus version of this same policy. The bonus version has a 10% bonus and still a very strong index S&P 500 cap at 8.5%. And then we actually have some strong volatility control strategies on here as well. You'll notice, you see, if you look at S&P Market Agility 10, for example, that's 115% participation. Well, if I look at a lot of the volatility control strategies that are in the market today, what do we look at when we're looking at a good growth product? A lot of times we're looking at 200 to 300% participation, right? On a volatility control strategy. This one's only 115. Why? Because it has a 10% vol control built into it, meaning it has effectively a double the volatility, or allows for double the volatility when you compare it to a 5% volatility control mechanism, which means lower participation, but also allows for more volatility, which when you take a deep dive at the vol control indexes, at least my personal opinion is that that's a much bigger, more important number than the participation, is how much volatility we're allowing. So 5% for withdrawal on this policy, we're limiting that because, again, we're pushing everything towards the accumulation on this policy. So that's our MaxGrowth in a nutshell. Not a overly complex product, and you see that across all of our products. We want to keep things as simple as possible, good growth, and good protection for your clients. Like I mentioned before, we're adding states. I wanted to just mention that this is our current state map. We expect to add some states this year, but that's a big push for us. We're going to be adding states little by little over this next year. Just know that we're focused on that. If we're not in your current state, we are looking to get there. We're working on it literally right now. So please know that. I wanted to kind of wrap things up with a couple reasons why doing business with American Life is a good thing. Tim had mentioned earlier that they like to partner with strong companies, and we want to be a good partner for both IAMS and you guys. Part of that effort is ensuring that we do not embarrass you in front of your clients ever. I've actually sat in Tim's seat before in the IMO space, and having the difficult conversations about poor renewals is not a fun conversation to have. I know it's not for you with your clients. It's certainly not anybody on our side talking with agents. It's one thing we want to stay away from. To that end, at American Life here, we are big on renewal rate integrity. And to prove that point, I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we issued our first policy in October of 2019. That policy, for example, had a 52% S&P participation rate, a pretty strong participation rate on the S&P, especially for 2019. We had rates go up, we've had rates go down. That participation rate, along with the rest of the rates on that policy, fixed rates, caps, all renewed at 100% of their starting point. We've done that on every single policy that we have issued to date since 2019. I'm not sure that every carrier out there in the marketplace can say that today, but we can. So it is our intention, it is our goal to have very stable and very level pricing. We issue in 10-year blocks to ensure that for you and your clients moving forward. So that's important to us because we know it's important to you. Wanted to make sure I covered that. The other thing I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of, we've updated some suitability guidelines. If you've tried us out in the past and found us to be a little bit tougher, we've certainly gotten more accommodating there on the suitability side and the new business side in general to try and get things processed quickly and smoothly for you. One of the big changes that we've made, and I know you guys are out there always looking to improve clients' positions, is we're even willing to look at business as young as 1 year old on a replacement side. And the other thing to make sure to mention to you is we will take a look at if we have business that we want to look at and we can get that client whole by the end of the first year by going to the fixed account or whatever. We want to make sure we're looking at that, right? So send us those cases. We're happy to look at them and see where those can fit if it makes sense. Okay, wanted to be sure to point that out. And then finally, we have a very strong commission enhancement program. As you can see here, we start off fairly low at $4 million to qualify, starts you off at 25 basis points, but then we actually ramp up pretty quickly. At 7 million, we're at 1%. At 9 million, we're at 1.5%, and then we top out at 25 million at 2%. So, for example, the MaxGrowth, which has a 7.25% commission, if you hit that top mark, you're making 9.25% commission on that. But those middle of the 7 million and the 9 million are very strong in the marketplace when I look at the rest of the competitive landscape. So as you're out there working your books of business and thinking about the sales, we love an opportunity to earn your business here at American Life. That's pretty much all I had for you guys today. I've got my contact information up on the screen there. I would love to hear from any of you. Feel free to reach out to me anytime if you're working on a case or if you got an issue. That's what I'm here for. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I've got 20 years experience in the business. I'm here at American Life doing my best to help Tim and his advisors work their business through American Life as smoothly as possible. Any issues you have, I want to hear about it. And that's all I had for you guys today. Thanks so much for having me on, Tim.
Awesome. Thank you, Mason. Really appreciate it. I'll go ahead and launch our fourth and final poll, and that is, would you like some more information about American Life? While you're filling out that poll for us, I do have a couple of questions. And then if anybody else has any other questions, now is your last call to go ahead and get that in. And the first one is, I wanted to just briefly talk about that 5x5 off ramp. So with MaxGrowth, you'll notice that thing is really designed to be a rocket ship. And I think the important part there, there is going to be, substantial surrender charges and some bonus recapture. But if they don't need, if they're able to afford that annuity, I really don't see what else out there has, super high trigger rates, cap rates still in the double digits, fixed rates that are phenomenal. And so I just really wanted to point out, two things. The first is, as agents, you never want to get your clients into a scenario to where it's not the right fit. But if you've got clients that, truly can afford that product, that is a fantastic one to look at for accumulation. That renewal rate integrity is fantastic. And I think that was just, I wanted to highlight that. The other thing on that is after 5 years, then they do have access to liquidity on that 5x5. So I think American Life built in some fantastic functionality there to provide your clients access to those funds while also providing them with just that rocket ship to take them to the moon. The other thing that I wanted to pull up, and maybe Mason, you could bring up this portion of your slide where you talked about that EIC. So I real quickly just did a little bit of analysis, and if you had a client put 100,000 in, and let's say that they're under that 74 age band, they're going to get 123,000. So a 23% bonus there. And then just assuming a 5% growth over that 10th year, at the end, that 3% of extra bonus would equate out to over $6,000 of interest. So now instead of getting a 23% bonus on their money, they really got a 29% bonus on their money, as long as they don't access any liquidity other than the RMD. So again, I think a pretty common theme here with American Life really benefits the clients, if they don't need access to the funds. And that additional 3% is actually a lot more on their initial investment, because it's not 3% on the initial money, it's 3% on the contract value at that time. The last thing here, I did a little bit of quick research as well. In the last 20 years, the S&P has been positive 80% of the time. In the last 30 years, the S&P has been positive 77% of the time. And over the life of the S&P, it's been positive around 70% of the time. So again, that trigger strategy, I think you can really see how that, if you're not utilizing that as a tool in your toolbox, I would definitely encourage you to do that when you take a look at how often the S&P returns positive. And then that leads me into my last follow-up here, and then I'll turn it over to Mason, is positive performance with Fusion is going to net your client 6.83%, and the worst they could do is 5%. Pretty great story. So, Mason, I addressed the questions that had come up. I will turn it over to you for any last comments before we wrap up.
I think that's all I had. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. I appreciate you letting me on here, Tim, and been in y'all's ears. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
Oh, we did have one other question here, and that is, are there any living benefits with the Select Bonus Plus, such as ADLs?
No.
Or any other waivers on there? Is there a nursing home waiver or terminal illness or anything?
Yeah, we have a nursing home waiver on the MaxGrowth, but not on American Select. It's something we're looking to possibly change in the future, but right now, the current version of it, there's no nursing home rider.
Okay, right on. Well, hey, Mason, I appreciate the partnership. Thanks for hopping on here today. All you agents that hopped on and joined us, I appreciate it. Special thanks to you that participated in those questions as well as polls. On behalf of American Life and everybody over here at IAMS, have a fantastic day. We look forward to talking to you soon. Bye now.